Jong Thian, 11 years MDRT with 2 card of the table qualification and 2 times top of the table member. He will be sharing the topic Breakthrough Sales Idea.
Hi everyone. Okay, so today we're doing a connection zone. The presentation will be roughly about 15 minutes, but my actual presentation is about 10 minutes, and we have 5 minutes for Q&A if you want to. First, say hi to everyone that's streaming live all over the world. Hi. Okay, so unfortunately, you guys cannot ask me questions, but hopefully, the audience here will ask me really good questions. Yeah. Okay, so really quick, before I go into the sales idea, let me share with you my idea of a good sales idea. So first of all, a sales idea, a good one, must be simple. Okay, because a simple sales idea allows your client to comprehend the content of your sales idea a lot quicker. Okay, that's number one. Number two, a sales idea has to be flexible. A flexible sales idea allows you to be able to change it up, so that your client can understand what you need. So that's also very important. If you're learning a sales idea is very rigid, then to me, there's really no point. Okay, so it has to be flexible. The third thing is that the sales idea has to be easy to learn. If the sales idea is not easy to learn, most likely it's hard to understand as well. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you a sales idea I learned roughly 3 years ago. Okay, I didn't invent it myself, I learned it, so now I'm like sharing with you guys, okay? It's really wonderful. So the slide is actually at the back, so you guys need to turn around, look at the slide because, yeah, okay? Don't worry about me, I can talk to, I can talk to the back of your head, it's fine. Yeah, you're not rude, okay? So you have to look at that, all right? So today, the name of the sales idea is actually called Financial Planning Circle. I think some of you might have heard it before. If you have, then you can listen to my version, okay? If you have not, then you're in for a treat, all right? Okay, so really quick. So what I usually do is, I always talk to my client, have you heard of the Financial Planning Circle? If my clients say yes, they'll be like, oh, that's really, really good. Someone has spoken to you before, so let me share my version with you, and you tell me whether it's the same or not. If my clients say, no, I've never heard of it before, then you say, oh, great. Let me tell you what is a financial planning circle. So first thing you should always do is you should always be interactive, meaning that you either draw on your iPad or you take out a piece of paper and draw on a piece of paper. Okay, don't do a slide and then present through a slide. It's not as interactive because when you are doing on a piece of paper, when you are drawing, you're actually engaging your client into what you are drawing. Okay, rather than just flipping through slides. Okay, so first thing you do is you draw a circle. So after I draw a circle, I'll tell my client, so do you know what this circle represents? Most of the time, they will say no. Okay, so the circle represents all the asset, all the money that you have. And what is our goal in life? For most people, we want the circle to get bigger because the circle represents your money, your wealth, and your asset. So today, that's what we are trying to do. Expand your circle. Okay, so in this circle, there are 3 different accounts. The first account is what we call a cash flow account. The second account is what we call a wealth creation account. And the third account is what we call a wealth preservation account. And each of these accounts has a focus. In a cash flow account, the focus is fluid. You want the money in your cash flow account to be fluid, okay? And the focus is also on short-term savings. Because only short-term saving, you can take the money in and out and in and out, right? So most people use what kind of tools? Bank account and fixed deposit. So when you mention fixed deposit, your client might say to you, but fixed deposit is not fluid, but you have to lock it in for 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, and a year, right? So what you tell them is, it is true, but then, let's say you have a 1-year fixed D. Even if you break it, you're losing that 1-year interest. Yes, you lose interest, but then it's still very fluid. Not like some other products where if you, surrender or you take out the money prematurely, you lose a lot more. Whereas this one, you just take back your capital, your principal, you lose that interest. Okay, so that's why it's still considered very fluid short-term savings. The second one that we're looking into is wealth creation, the second account. Okay, so in wealth creation, the focus here is investment. We want to make money fast. Well, the hope is for us to make money fast. So what do people do? So different vehicles that people always use: stock, mutual funds, business, and properties. Okay, and then the last one, the third account, is what we call wealth preservation. And in wealth preservation, the focus here is long-term savings. So what do you have here? Your retirement fund, your children's education fund, emergency fund, and of course, the insurance. So a lot of my client is like, why is emergency fund in this account? Well, so let's say emergency fund is for emergency, okay? So everyone, depending on your income, you probably have, an idea how much you want your emergency fund pool to be. Some people say 50,000, some people say 100,000. I mean, let's just say it's 100,000. 100,000 for many people doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just drop from the sky. So what do? It's actually a long-term saving. So if you're making, 5,000 ringgit a month, you're, very savvy in saving, you save 1,000, let's say, and you want to hit 100,000, that's 100 months. That's how many years? 7 years. So is it long-term? It is long-term. But it's also necessary because emergency fund is something you need when something happens. Okay, so if people ask you that, this is how you explain to them. Then we move on, so we talk about the focus of each account. Now there's a keyword that you assign to each of these accounts. So for cash flow account, the keyword here is discipline. Why do I say discipline? Because the great thing about the cash flow account being fluid, okay, so that's a good thing, but the bad thing is it is fluid, okay? Because what we want to do again, we want to expand our circle. So every time when you take money out, if you do not have the discipline and you keep taking money out, the money leaves your circle like that. So once the money leaves your circle, the money is no longer yours. And what does that mean? Your circle shrinks. But we don't want that. Remember, we want it to be bigger and bigger. Okay, so if you have a lot of discipline, you can put your money in your bank account, put your fixed D, you don't touch it, then that's great. Okay, but a lot of people do not have that kind of discipline. All right? So the keyword for wealth creation is risk. Okay? Say whatever you want to say. I think, the MCO, coronavirus, has taught all of us what risk means. Risk is something that you do not see. It can just happen overnight. So this is what we are facing right now, okay? So there is a certain amount of risk, with businesses that you're going to, property that you invest, stock that you invest, and the mutual fund that you buy, all right? Again, if you make money, your circle get bigger. But if you don't, then the circle will get smaller. If you lose money, the money leave your circle. So this is where I will draw. So let's say if I'm doing a live presentation to you, when I say, when you make losses, your money will leave your circle. So I'll take the pen, I'll draw. So draw an arrow that shoot out so that they can feel that the money leaving their wealth. So this is what you guys have to do as well, all right? So the third one, long-term saving, wealth preservation, the keyword here is patient. You need to have patience in order to achieve. Go back to the emergency fund, the 100,000. So the first year, you're very good, 1,000 every month, so you have accumulated 12,000. Second year, you get a bit lazy. You get a bit distracted. You want to, go on a holiday that is out of your budget. That sort of thing. If you do not have the kind of patience to build it, it will not be there. But the good thing about the long-term savings account is that it's always very safe, most of the time. The product that you invest in long-term savings account is always very safe. So after I get to here, then I tell my client, so these days, a lot of my clients are doing one thing. They're taking one action. What are they doing? They're actually moving funds from one account to a different account. They're moving funds from the short-term savings account, change it into protection, and move it into the long-term savings account. And then this, most of the time when you get to this point, your client has a lot of question marks, like how does that work, how does that work, So you tell them, by doing that, always remember, the money in here is still your money. You're just moving it around. You're not losing money. Yes, you might be buying something from me, but you're actually not losing money because it is your money. You're not putting in my bank account. You're putting in a product that you have signed up for, okay? So when you do this, if something happened to you, for example, if you become disabled, okay? If you become disabled, your circle will get bigger like that very quickly. And when it does that, it helps you preserve your wealth, okay? And if you are so unlucky and you are diagnosed with critical illness, major illnesses, life-threatening illnesses that make you stop working, that sort of things, your circle will go bigger very quickly as well, okay, by taking this action, okay? And if you die prematurely, okay, your circle will get bigger too. Yes, you will not benefit from it, but who is going to benefit from that? Your family. Your family will benefit from it so that their life doesn't have to be affected by your sudden death, okay? If you are so lucky nothing ever happened to you, your circle will go bigger as well, for sure, okay? So I always tell my client, by doing one single move, simple step, okay, you are actually preserving your wealth. You are preserving your cash flow for your business and your family. So you are doing this for not only for the now, but also for your family and for their future as well. So when I get to here, this is when you guys can start taking out some of the products that your company has that you think can help them grow their circle, all right? Oh, good, 10 minutes. Anyone has any question? This is the end of that presentation. So when you are doing it, you can do it slower, you can do it quicker, you can focus on a certain area. It all depends how well you know your prospect or your client, okay, and engage them in a conversation. But the key about this sales idea is that you want to engage them in a conversation, but you don't want to engage them too much, because you do want to quickly go through the steps. You want to make sure that they understand every single component of the steps. So that's actually a very important key. Because there were times I would just start talking to my client about certain thing, and we'll go really, 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 really far. And then we forgot where we were. And they have lost all the information that I presented to them earlier. So it's almost like you have to go back and redo the whole thing again. Yeah, so don't do that. Engage, but not too much. All right? Questions? You can ask questions. Audrey, you want to clap? You can clap. Just kidding. No question, huh? Okay. Okay, so the question is, do I ask my clients goal? Not at this point. I think, you mean like goal in terms of what? Sorry, in terms of...
If you were to put it into the long-term thingy, do you ask, okay, what is your long-term goal?
Right.
Do you ask that?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, depending on the client. So depending on how well you know the client. So if I know my client well enough, if I know whatever he or she wants to say sort of fit into my sales idea, I will ask, sort of just to reinforce that whole idea. But if I kind of know they're going to say something that I don't want to hear, because then it's another battle that you have to, So sales idea doesn't have to happen, in the early stage of your relationship with your client. It can be in the end stage, in the middle stage, I think the key is for a sales idea to work effectively, the relationship has to be there. Yeah, so that's still very important. Yeah, right? No? So clear, my presentation. Huh? Okay. Another thing that you guys can do is, so when you get to this point, something I learned from Kaka a few weeks ago, when you get to this point, let's say you guys are going to talk about product, right? So Kaka likes to get the client to be involved in selecting how much they want to be insured. So usually what we do, we sit there and we key in our iPad, we show them, right? But Kaka actually sat down with the client, actually let them play with the iPad. Yeah. So that's one good thing as well. I think it's quite fun. Something you can try. Yeah. But apparently for some companies it's illegal, but that's not the point. Yeah. Okay. Chris? Right. Okay, so then the question is, does this work for all sort of markets, meaning that income, whether they're young, low income. So then you tweak your conversation a little bit, because the young people, they might not have the money to do wealth creation, but then you want to educate them. A proper financial planning involves in wealth creation. Eventually, that's something that they have to do. There's something they are looking forward to. Okay, so you can tell them that. Okay, I think this kind of sales idea works for everyone, because I think everyone can use extra money. The rich people, they love extra money. Don't think that the rich people would not want to buy insurance, because they understand the notion of using a little bit of money and transfer the risk and possibly make a lot of money. Okay, yes, I do have clients that are billionaires, one or two, and they do believe that. I ask them, I'm like, you're so wealthy, why you want to buy insurance? Such good clients. They're like, why not? I pay what? For my kids, I pay 5%, 1% of the sum insured in the premium, but something does happen to them, boom. It's like, it's good investment, but, so you have to be, have that kind of courage to talk to them and share with them that kind of information. So don't always think that, rich people doesn't want to buy. They can. They would love to if you say the right thing to them. I got 1 minute and 26 seconds. Time is precious. Let's go. One last question? No? Oh, okay. Oh, so these days, I become a little bit tech savvy. I do it on my iPad. And Bamboo can do a lot of color, right? So you have to practice, because, when I did it the other day in my office, people were so impressed because I know the coloring so well. And the good thing about iPad is that, because, during the process, I always talk about expanding your circle, right? So every time when I talk about expanding the circle, let's say if my original circle is this, I will draw it. No, I'll actually draw another circle outside. But then once I finish drawing, I will go back and make it disappear, because otherwise it will make my whole graph look really ugly. So there's a back feature. Yeah, so I said, you want to expand, so I draw a bigger one, and then I back, or you don't want it to be smaller. So everything you say, you engage. So you need to do a lot of practice so that you are fast. and then you have to be able to draw without, because you cannot just keep drawing. So you have to like engage. Yeah, in the beginning, I'm just drawing, and then my client is here, like don't look at them. Then when they ask me a question, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. But then after you practice a lot, yeah, do it at home. It's a very quick presentation. So, okay, time's up. Thank you very much. Yay!